Weird Realities Network presents Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales, where we pull up a log, roast a marshmallow, and settle in as these two blondes talk spooky tales, urban legends, and classic horror icons. Exciting guests, perky blondes, and sinister tales makes this podcast as good as a double stack s'more. So let's join Bethany and Krystal as they gather around the campfire in Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales. I'm currently texting Mom and Dad at the same time to share the show because that's how we started. Okay, welcome in. Sorry. As usual, we're not prepared.
We're totally prepared. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, we started on time, so that's a perk for us right there. Well, welcome to season 2, episode 9. Mysteries of the Southwest is what we have. And before we start, we just want to say that tonight's episode is definitely in memory of one of our co-hosts, one of our podcasters, that is Miss Halo. So Halo crossed the Rainbow Bridge earlier this evening. So we're very excited to have everyone here. But we just want to say in memory of one of our wonderful furry co-hosts with us tonight. So with that, before I start crying, we're just going to jump right in. So Mysteries of the Southwest. I don't know, like Krystal, like you grew up here. Ricky and I, we grew up here. Mm-hmm. We have some EVO. They have been on. So I started the podcast a little early in terms of being ready. And this person on YouTube has been chatting for like half an hour. And I, at first I was scared that they could see my picture or my video. Cause I was walking around. I was changing clothes. I was changing
stuff.
While
your camera was up?
Well, no, I blocked it for
dangerously.
Yeah, but like I didn't think you could see anything. So then this person started commenting, and I was like, "Wow, I hope I'm not live right now." And then I had to like see. So this is Evo. so I actually had to go. Oh my God, Londa.
I agree, Londa. Honestly, like her camera's on and she's wandering around with no clothes.
I didn't go live. Like, no. And so I had to go on YouTube and be like, can people see me right now? Because I was like, I had this link sent for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, you sent it really early today.
This is what Evo said. Hey, Alan, what's up? Welcome to the chaos.
Just making sure Bethany's not changing this into a whole different type of show today.
Oh, no. We'll have to start charging for that kind of show. So
Only cryptids.
Only cryptids. That could go so many ways.
Yeah.
We got everyone involved on that. So anyway, that's how we start off. Is super awkward. So I don't know what everyone else researched. I found a cool site. It's called Destination Tree, and it's this couple who kind of traveled around the Southwest, and they talked about their experiences, and they did a road trip. And It's not like, it's not really like in depth, but they came across like some random stuff that I was like, that's kind of interesting. So I'll go over a couple, and then we'll kind of see like what Krystal got, and then we'll just kind of, like I told Krystal earlier, we'll just find what tangent we go on.
Right.
Yeah.
This is Bethany's mom. I don't think they found the link yet. They're probably still looking.
They're watching.
Okay. So the first thing I found was historic Wickenburg in Arizona. Sorry, Sherlock.
Yeah. I'd be surprised.
Ricky.
That's my humor, man. It's dark.
Oh my gosh.
Dark humor is allowed.
Londa's all, she's here. Okay, something about Arizona. Obviously, Southwest is not just Arizona. It is several states. It's what, like New Mexico, Texas, Southwest, parts of Southern California.
Even Utah, Nevada, yeah.
Yeah, Nevada.
Sometimes they include California.
Yeah, sometimes they include California. Sometimes they include Oklahoma. But yeah.
Oklahoma? Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's just right above Texas. It's just right there.
That whole panhandle thing. We would drive through that when we'd go through Texas, through Oklahoma, all the way on our way towards Iowa.
I'm not
Which
gonna lie.
I learned something really dark about the panhandle of Oklahoma. Do you want to know it?
Yes.
So the reason that the panhandle of Oklahoma exists is because the panhandle actually was part of Texas, but they didn't want to give up their slaves. So I don't, obviously, like, it has something to do with Texas not wanting to give up slaves. I don't have the information. Yeah.
The Civil War?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that way because of the Civil War, because of like certain people not wanting to give up their slaves, so they had to like redo the borders so that like it could be part of, so that like that little part of Texas that sticks up could still be part of Texas and they could still have slaves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So kind of like, did that was that after the Civil War was done? And
it was before the Civil War.
Before, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because Texas was like obviously part of the South for the Civil War. Texas really liked their slaves.
By the way, this is V8. I'm specifically.
What is that? That looks thick.
It's V8. I'm specifically so over the weekend I got all of Halo's favorite foods and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm eating and drinking today.
Oh, Halo likes V8?
Oh no, she would cut you for V8 or yogurt.
Dang.
That's so funny.
I know she liked lettuce.
Yeah, so I got Salad and Go right here too.
Oh, I love Salad and Go. I miss Salad and Go. Like, Salad and Go, please come to Washington.
Well, back on
Sorry.
Texas.
Anyway.
Texas.
Agreed, Wanda. Like, nobody needs to be owning other people, and yeah.
Unless there's a contract involved and they both agree to it, but that's a whole nother,
that's a whole different type of situation.
So back to
your only Arizona. Anyway,
I love how it's like we'll see where the tangents take us, and we're literally not even 10 minutes in, and we're just
we're over in Texas.
We're over in Texas.
Talking about only cryptids. Yeah,
Okay, anyway, I'm going back to this. Okay, historic Wickenburg, Arizona. Arizona has a ton of ghost towns. Yeah. A lot of them are inhabited, and a lot of them are not lively inhabited, if that makes sense. But there's a lot of ghost stories, a lot of towns, just a lot of history. And so Wickenburg, some fun thing about that, that's an hour northwest of Phoenix, Arizona. What they actually had is they have an old oak tree that grows in the middle of the town. And that tree was actually used as a makeshift jail for 30 years. And basically what would happen is the sheriff would just chain troublemakers up to the tree until they sobered up, pretty much. So
the sobering tree.
Exactly.
So instead of a drunk tank, it was a drunk tree.
It was literally, but like, here's the thing though. If you think of our summers, can you imagine being a drunk? Like you were blackout drunk, or you were just buzzed or whatever, enough to cause a nuisance, and you are chained to a tree in the middle of summer in Arizona with 110, 120 degree temps.
I think Wickenburg's a little bit up in the mountains, so I don't think it's quite as hot, but it's still going to be like 100 degrees. Yeah.
Well, the fact that like this says it's an hour northwest of Phoenix, so still it's close enough to Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What, Rick?
Oh, I was going to say that usually when you're inebriated, it's overnight. So, I mean, usually.
Well,
and desert nights get really cold.
So social customs say that now, but what about then?
Yeah, I don't know.
People didn't have Netflix sometimes.
They probably had peyote.
Oh God, yeah.
Which would, allow them to see things and maybe create cryptids.
There you go.
Yeah.
Trying to get us back.
Yeah.
Another fun thing is the Vulture Mine, which is in Wickenburg, Arizona, is known to be a haunted and a ghost camp. Let's see. Sedona is a big like vortex for a lot of people. A lot of people go there to meditate. A lot of people go there for like meditation. Meditation. They go there for like serenity and just kind of at peace with themselves. But there's
also like 7 different vortexes, I think.
Yeah.
In Sedona. There's a lot of different vortexes.
Yeah.
And for anybody that doesn't know what a vortex is, it's just supposed to be like a space of like calming and healing and spiritual, where you can connect more to like the spiritual side of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's have you guys been to Sedona before?
Oh yeah, I love Sedona. It's one of my favorite spots.
Yeah. Ricky, have you been there?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
I've been there once, I believe. I think we were just doing like a little road trip and we happened to go through Sedona.
You might have driven through the way up to Flagstaff.
Probably, yeah. It's very pretty up there. I remember going to like the gift shop, like the tourist area. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and there's a lot of hiking and a lot of pretty stuff. The other thing, where was it at? Okay, the Horseshoe Cafe in Benson, Arizona. That is known to be haunted. Let's see. It's a haunted cafe called the Horseshoe Cafe. According to the staff, one of the previous owners is an active spirit there and often peeks out through the windows of the second floor. So for anyone who doesn't like to work, that really sucks if you are a spirit and you're stuck haunting the building that you work at.
But if they owned it, it's a little bit different, especially like back in the day.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Being that type of place back in like the Old West days.
Yeah.
Like
it says so it says her favorite post-mortem activity is to knock glasses off of counters and toss coffee ground trays right out of the machine, as well as rearrange utensils for guests.
So she's a cat.
Sounds like this one person goes, I asked several times to have her knock stuff off my table, but to no avail. So apparently she doesn't do it on command.
Also like a cat.
It's not a dog.
Let's see. Another one is Tombstone. I think we're all familiar with Tombstone. Anyone who watched Tombstone should be familiar with Tombstone, which was filmed in Tombstone. And
Huckleberry.
Huh?
I'm your Huckleberry.
Yep. Which I found out that is actually because the Hucklebears, that's what it was called. And those were the people who would carry the casket. So that's why he was like, I'll be your Huckleberry. Like, I'll carry your casket because I'm going to unalive you at this point.
Right.
But Tombstone has a lot of history. I'm hoping sometime to go down there, especially with the Boot Hill, the cemetery up there. And I want to do some footage for Wearing the Folk. So they do just footage and kind of watch stuff. So I'm hoping to do something like that with Tombstone. I think that'll be fun.
So you should go. So the Tombstone Motel rooms 19 and 21 are super haunted.
Oh. And also the Birdcage Theater, right?
Yeah. And so I went down there with my friend Valley a long time ago. I don't know if you remember Valley, Bethany, because we used to work with her.
Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went down there and we stayed in rooms 19 and 21 at the Tombstone Motel, which she has some footage from a prior stay there where there was like stuff going on in one of the rooms while they were gone. But like there was supposed to be another person that went with us. So we were supposed to stay in the 2 separate rooms, but I went into, I think, room 21 on my own. And I could not stay there by myself. There was just like this overpowering, like negative feeling in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not staying here. So we all share. We had the 2 rooms for the night, but we all ended up sharing just the 1 room. And I remember I woke up around like 3 a.m. and absolutely no reason. The other people in the room should have been awake. But I was like, you guys, I can't feel my hands or my feet. And they were like, yeah. We can't either. So they were awake and they couldn't feel their hands or their feet either.
Like, wow.
So that was really weird. And then we did do a ghost hunt at the Birdcage Theater. That is another one that's supposed to be very haunted.
Did you do the ghost hunt or did you do the the tour?
We did the ghost. It was like a ghost hunt tour.
Oh, okay.
Combination thing. It was pretty late at night. We both got EVPs of a child laughing, and there were no children aren't allowed on that tour, you know. No drugs were involved, but thanks. We didn't even have any alcohol that night. So like literally no drugs involved. But we did both get an EVP of a child laughing, and there's like no children were allowed in the building at the time. And there was definitely, I mean, it was like pretty late at night. There was not really anybody out on the streets. Like if you ever go to Tombstone, it shuts down after dark. There's not anything going on after dark. So yeah, we both got that. Yeah, like Tombstone, if you want to do some ghost hunting, it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
And that's my recommendations. Tombstone Motel, rooms 19 and 21, if you want to. Plus, it's like really weird the way they're set up. Like there was drywall on the ceiling of the shower, and then there was like a hole in it for the steam to go out. So there was a between the shower and the actual ceiling.
Oh my God.
Really weird.
No,
that's just like a random thing.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Just as you know, because we go off on tangents. I don't know if I mentioned on our last show or not, but if anyone remembers Jen, Jen, who was one of our guests on here several episodes ago, and she's a horror author and everything, and she lives in Tucson, so that's how we kind of know each other. She actually, her and I are going to go on a ghost hunt in August to Jerome, Arizona, and we're going to do some Indy is literally knocking over right now. I think he's trying to say I think he wants to say hello to you, for Halo, but he's you've been watching. Hold on. What do you want? I think Indy's just trying to say, he's sorry and he's with you right now.
Oh,
feels the mood.
I know, but this little asshole too is knocking. Anyway, so Jen and I are Wanda. So Jen and I are going to go do a ghost hunting thing in Jerome. And I'm going to film some stuff for our podcast and maybe go live on a few things. I think that'll be kind of fun. But I know she hasn't done Tombstone yet, and I really want to do Tombstone because that's just a lot of my stories are based out of Tombstone. So that would be a good idea, is if we could go, Ricky, if you want to join too, at some point, we could do the Tombstone and the hotel and just do a little ghost hunting thing, or just film content or whatever. Just see what's there, or go get an ostrich burger because they have ostrich burgers down there.
Ostrich, emu, bronco, and something else.
I don't know.
Will they have horse burgers?
Burger. My little carousel heart. I can't take it.
Buffalo. I think they also have buffalo burger too.
Buffalo would be kind of good, I think. I don't know. Okay, well, also known in Tombstone, well, I guess kind of close to it, apparently while at the courthouse, these people learned that there's over 60 different types of barbed wire used by ranchers.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of different types of barbed wire.
Yeah, I had no idea there were that many types of barbed wire.
I thought barbed wire is barbed wire. I didn't know there's different types. They also said there's a monumental payload of silver about 500 feet away from the town that was buried in a mine shaft by an unexpected watery cave-in, never to be dug out again. That's literally what they said on their site.
That's so ominous.
It might be protected ground. Maybe they can't physically
maybe.
Well, I mean, if there was a cave-in, typically, especially with mines, if there's a cave-in, you don't mess with it because it's so unstable after that.
I don't know if I can show this well. This is a picture of some of the this is a picture of some of the barbed wire. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. But Yeah,
It all looks like barbed wire.
it literally looks like barbed wire. But when you look at it, like some of it looks like it's like crossed, like a net of barbed wire.
Right.
Some of it looks like it's like a cord that's tumbled around. That's kind of cool. And then some has like a spur and a spur, and then others have like spur, 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 spur. So apparently that's the different types of barbed wire. Obviously the OK Corral, where the infamous, shootout happened. If you don't know anything about that, learn your history, people, because that is very awesome.
As featured on Star Trek, yes.
Yes, it is. So OK Corral that was featured on Star Trek.
Star Trek had everything, Krystal. Everything.
Consider the fact that one of their actors, DeForest Kelley, McCoy, Dr. McCoy, he was Gunsmoke, I think, is what he was featured in before that. So he was already an established Western actor who came over. But then the pitch for Star Trek was actually Wagon Train Across the Stars. And Wagon Train was a traveling it was very much similar to that, but it was in Western.
Well, I mean, it's to the final frontier, so
yeah,
there you go. Talking about the Birdcage Theater, it's supposedly the most haunted place in town. There's a welcoming woman who shared that the male spirits love to play with her hair, so that's a little creepy. Let's see. And then this person goes, well, I held onto my ponytail for the rest of the tour. So, but yeah, that was just kind of some of the fun little things around town. There, one little thing I had was, and I can't tell where it was. Okay, so I used to do nails, and I was a nail tech for anyone who didn't know that. And I've come across a wide variety of people with a wide variety of stories, and that was one of the fun things about my job. And I met people all across the world pretty much who came to Mirabel and stuff. And one lady was actually, her job was to identify mines around town. And so what she would do is, or not around town, but around states. And one thing she would do is she would get into a hot air balloon, and she would go up in the hot air balloon and travel around like the desert. That was the best way that she could identify mines. And she would find basically holes in the ground that you could see from a hot air balloon. And that would be like a mine shaft, like the beginnings of digging into one. And so she said that there's a lot of ghost towns here that are only accessible by dirt bike or horseback or something like that, or some kind of off-road vehicle. And how you would recognize some of them is you would see like the holes in the ground around them. So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of weird. Like, can you imagine that's your job, to get in a hot air balloon and go look for holes in the desert?
Honestly, that sounds like a fun job.
It does sound like fun.
Unless you're afraid of heights, but that's,
Well,
yeah, definitely not for somebody afraid of heights.
That's like someone who's afraid of heights who wants to be a pilot. Like, you don't, I don't think you hunt down that type of job.
Yeah.
Well, you were talking about the couple that would go traveling around and stuff. There are a couple of stories that I had that was based off of couples that would go travel around as well. It's kind of funny. One of them in particular, they're talking about the river dinos, who are also known as the river lizards or mini rexes or prairie devils. All of them the same thing. They're reptilian cryptids, from the American West, and usually in the Four Corners region. Though they've also been seen in like Ohio, Kentucky, Texas, and Georgia. But the origination of it, they're talking about a couple had discovered a reptile. Well, hold on. So it was, shoot, I missed the part where it was, but it was like, they said it was definitely not a lizard, but it was a reptile, about 3 feet tall, and had like arm-like appendages instead of forelegs, and let's see, they're usually seen near wet environments and move swiftly with grace, kind of like a raptor or something. But yeah, so that is a cryptid I hadn't actually heard of, that they were referencing, which is kind of cool. The second one would be, and if you lived in Arizona, in that stretch between Arizona and New Mexico, they've got the Thing. and you would notice the thing because there are 50 some odd billboards that says, "Have you seen the thing? Come see the thing." It's I think it's a gas station area outside Benson, and in Arizona, and so there was a YouTube thing that I watched in particular that was a little bit more descriptive on the whole experience of it, and it was a couple, and they go around visiting tourist traps, and well, it's an obvious tourist trap, but you know, what's funny is considering how long we've lived here and how often we've traveled through that area and how I've always wanted to see it, you know, I've never seen the thing. Our grandparents did. Grandma and Grandpa Stutzman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so dad's side. They went, and of course, Grandma's description of it was, "It's this thing." It's like, well, that's descriptive. Thank you.
So the billboard was accurate. I gotcha.
Yeah, but it's a huge event there, and I think the money that you pay for admission and such also goes towards, you know, upkeep and everything. But I think they go towards a charity of some sort as well. I don't really remember if that was the correct, if that was, you know, or not. But still, it's a cool thing to check out at some point.
That is.
Because they reference a lot more like UFO type paranormal things. GMA.
Grandma.
Oh, okay. So I'm like, Grand Martial Arts? I don't know. My brain's not exactly all that. Right.
You're like, I want to go see the thing, and you show up and they're doing a ninja competition.
Your dojo.
Oh, man. I think my brother stopped at the thing, and he told me that it was some sort of like mummy type thing.
It's like a moss-covered mummy.
It's like nobody can accurately describe it.
Which the thing would be an accurate description.
It could be like a mom and its baby type deal.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not well defined, you know, through the age and such. Things have sunken or whatever. It could be, you know, partially lizard-like. You know, maybe there was a UFO thing involved.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, Dad just texted me because I'm like, did you guys catch the show yet? Because I wanted to make sure the link went through. And he goes, yes, we're watching it with Grandma, which will be Grandma Stutzman. So Grandma Stutzman, if you remember what the thing is.
Phone it in.
What it is. We got a first-hand witness here.
So, yeah, the thing.
One of the other fun stuff, it's not really like a mystery or anything, but it's just kind of, I guess, like an Arizona quirk. But in between Tucson and Phoenix is Picacho Peak. And at Picacho Peak, which not only did Stephanie Meyer write about it in, what was it, The Host was her book series, or her series? Yeah. Well, she had the Twilight series, and the main character, Bella, was from Tucson, which I'm sorry. I have my own opinions of that show, but
we're not going to talk about our opinions of that.
I know, but what I thought was funny was anytime Tucson is mentioned, like anywhere, they always emphasize Tucson with like a little cactus. So like Bella's driving at the beginning of the movie with like her little cactus that she has. And that's like her Tucson thing. If you watch the TV show Greetings from Tucson, they just have like cactus, you know, in front of homes. Like Romeo and Michelle, their reunion was in Tucson, Arizona, and it was just like an adobe building with a cactus plant in front. And
that was actually filmed in Tucson.
I know, yeah, but like they literally found like the random.
Yeah, I do kind of remember that show Greetings from Tucson, and it was so clearly not filmed anywhere close to Tucson.
Yeah, you would just randomly see cactus.
Yeah, they're like, well, if we just place some cactus, then people will think it's the desert. Yeah. It's like, no.
So we have, just saying, we have eyewitness testimony of the thing. And yeah, so Mom says that Grandma says the thing said it was a mummy looking thing.
See, it's a mummy thing.
There you go.
It's pretty mummy.
There you go.
Looking thing. Mummy
looking thing.
Could be an alien.
An interesting interesting fact, not a legend, but just an interesting historical fact about Picacho Peak is that is the westernmost Civil War battle site.
Is it bad that I want to call it Pikachu Peak?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Pikachu Peak.
Yeah, now it's in your head.
Oh, yeah, now it is in my head. That's why it's a bad thing, because now I'm not ever going to get it out of my head.
Well, it's like, have you guys hiked it at all?
Yeah.
It's rough.
It's a rough hike.
You have ropes to climb over there. I didn't make it that far. It's insane.
Yeah, I don't think I made it to the top. I think we went and I was still pretty young, and my mom saw the ropes, and she's like, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. Wanda, I actually don't have a cowboy hat.
I have a fedora, but that's because I like Indiana Jones. So
I don't think I have any.
The closest to a cowboy hat I've got.
Mom says it's kind of like a chupacabra, is what she said. But I don't know if a mummy and a chupacabra. But you know what? There's a chupacabra.
Yep, there you go. There you go.
It's a chupacabra mummy.
So Eva wants to know that when you go to the ghost towns, is it during the day or after dark? And they're cooking dinner. Hey, what are you cooking? Like, we're all hungry.
I mean, I think it depends on the ghost town and what you're doing. Like Tombstone, if you're wanting to do the touristy stuff, that's all that stuff is going on during the day. Once the sun goes down, I think Big Nose Kate's is open. Because they have that's like the town's bar. Yeah. And has been going since like old Western days. That place is actually pretty cool. But yeah, that's like the town bar, and then you can like schedule the night tours at the Birdcage Theater, but like there's really nothing else to do there, and like a lot of the places to ghost hunt are closed after night. So you'd be trespassing. Like Boot Hill is closed after dark.
Yeah.
So I would recommend not ghost hunting there in the dark because you could get arrested.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the ghost towns are private property. It's not necessarily public land to go on. So you can only go there, when they can. So I tagged Mike. Mike, I just got to say, for all the times that we are like 1 or 2 minutes late and you call us out, thank you for joining our show 32 minutes in. He said his alarm didn't go. Can you start over?
I'm like, I don't even remember. There's so many tangents. I think you'll just have to go back and watch the first half and re-listen to the first half of your night. Sorry.
Bethany did a short story about Boot Hill, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
In the past, yeah.
I did. Yeah, that was.
I remember that story. Yeah.
Tricks, Treats, and Tricks, Treats, and Zombies is what it was called. So yeah, I did Boot Hill.
I forgot why I was thinking of it, but anybody remember the mysterious hum phenomenon?
Yeah.
No. New Mexico is one of the places. So as far as Southwest, they have that, and I think it was in fact featured on X-Files at one point. I could be wrong.
I don't know about X-Files. I know Criminal Minds have the hum episode.
How do I not know anything about this? What is the hum?
Well, what's interesting is for me, I like Australia and stuff like that. So I'm always thinking of like the big red rock that they've got and how that. But I know that the hum is in different areas around the world, and Taos, New Mexico is one of the famous places for it as well. And it's essentially a low-lining sound that's just kind of in the back of your neck area, ears. Not everybody can hear it, but it's enough to drive people crazy enough to want to move because it's just constant.
It's a good analogy or for people who have
tinnitus.
Yeah, tinnitus. Yeah, I kept wanting to say tetanus. It's not, but tinnitus. Yeah, we have that thing.
Yeah, definitely different things.
So just to catch up, Mike read a story about a ghost hunters that went to Tombstone a while back. I had a chupacabra in it. I want to read that story. That seems cool. Yeah, considering how I have my tombstone story, and I have my Chupacabra Devil Dog Mind story. So, that sounds pretty familiar. And then Londa just called me out with my OnlyFans promotion earlier.
Only cryptids.
And I'm just saying, I was not naked. It was topless. So, but camera only saw me from here up. Sorry, Grandma. I just realized she was on the show. Not intentional.
And you weren't broadcasting.
No. It was a black
Just
screen.
your camera was on.
Oh, yeah. Mike wrote it. That's what it was.
Oh, that one? Yeah.
That was a story that Mike wrote.
I like how we all read it, and it was about us. And we're all like, oh, that sounds good.
I heard about this thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to reshare that, Mike, because you wrote a really cool fanfic story, and that was really awesome.
That was a lot of fun. Oh my gosh. Are we sure it's only Tuesday? Because that kind of mind work is like for the end of the week.
Yo, but you know what? When you work throughout the weekend, Tuesday, like today's my Friday, I have like a day off and then I go back to work. So there you go. Anyway, the whole point of Picacho Peak
oh yeah, that
was that there's an ostrich farm next to Picacho Peak, and apparently that's a thing, and people can go and feed ostriches in the middle of Sonoran Southwest.
And pet stingrays.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they also have like a pool of stingrays that you can pet.
Stingrays?
It's grown since like when we would drive by and stuff. You'd see it kind of dilapidated and stuff, and usually there's people out there on rocking chairs, very old style. But now it is a thing.
Yeah, they have a big ostrich festival there every year now.
They have a big what?
Ostrich festival?
Oh, okay. I think they said monster truck. I don't know why I thought that.
That'd be
although ostriches driving monster trucks, that'd be pretty hardcore. But they don't.
Yes, friends, and here we have the Guddler. Give it up for 4 legs, or I don't know.
Can you imagine one just gets scared and just sticks its head in the ground? With monster trucks going.
It just sticks its head down and accidentally hits the gas instead.
It's a room.
What was that show? 8-Legged Freaks.
Oh
at one point,
I've never watched that.
You haven't?
Krystal? No, Krystal is like legit. She cannot.
Absolutely refuse to. I know that it's a B movie that's supposed to be just absolutely ridiculous and funny. I don't care. I'm not going to watch it.
Okay,
giant
so
spiders.
Here's the part that relates. Okay, it has to do with an ostrich farm, and you have trapdoor spiders. And all of a sudden, so you got these ostriches.
Yeah, I can already tell where you're going with that.
I got it.
Got it.
Got the puppet hands.
Got it. That's all I needed to know.
All right, sorry.
No, that was it. It was just the ostrich. Oh, but you know what? There is a campground right there. I think that'll be kind of fun to go stay at that campground.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I like campgrounds. I'm one of those people, like, if you find like a KOA or some type of trailer hookup somewhere, like, I want to go stay there. But that's just that's just nostalgia from our history.
Yeah. Well, Mom and Dad were camping at different
I was just
places.
thinking, I'm
They're
like
the only ones there.
My first thought was just not in summer, but
no.
For me, camping has always included tents, and I forget that people camp other ways. So
they also go glamping.
Glamping, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with glamping.
For us, though, yeah, for Rick and I, it was glamping for Mom and Dad, and it was like roughing it in tents. Because I remember I actually want to think it was like the Disneyland campground. Because we never stayed in a hotel. We stayed at the Disneyland campground.
Vacationland campground. Disneyland campground. Yep.
Where I first watched Arachnophobia, actually. That was the first time I ever watched it, was at the Disneyland campground, hosted by Disney. During kids' time with the movies.
Yeah, that's not a good movie for kids. But I actually did watch the first 5 minutes of that movie, and then I left the room and had nightmares for a long time.
In case anyone's wondering why I keep referencing Arachnophobia, it's because I actually watched Arachnophobia last night, and then I went into my room and I found a spider. And so I posted on Facebook. I was like, well, I watched Arachnophobia and I found a spider. So tonight I'm going to watch a movie with Tom Hardy, and I'll let you know what happens in the morning.
Those men are mad.
Mike really likes arachnophobia. But anyway, so we were at the Disneyland campground, and I remember Rick and Tom, like you guys always had your tent, and then like I had my tent. Sometimes all three of us were in a tent, but basically the kids were in a tent, and the parents were always in the motorhome. And I remember one time it was like horrifically raining and flooding.
And because we built the tent in the rain.
Yeah. Everything was wet, and we still slept in the damn tent. And Mom and Dad had
built barricades of blankets and part of the sleeping bags and stuff, and diverted the water around us.
Yeah. I just remember like you and Tom were getting the brunt of it because you guys were like bookends. And so you guys had like the brunt of the water. But what I had was like you were both twirled up in the blanket so much that it was so taut above me, it didn't touch me. So I had no insulation. I had water dripping on me. So all of us were completely miserable. And Mom and Dad had the generator on all night with their heater in their bathroom and their nice, warm, little comfy bed. Speaking of which, Lana says, "Hi, Bethany's dad."
I think Snowball was probably on that trip or one of them like that. And that was one of the nights that he got out. He jumped, went through the window, and apparently was circling around us trying to get in, but didn't. And so we lost him for a while at the campground.
Whoa. Yeah.
Eventually found him dusty underneath another.
Not even dusty. He was greasy because Mom didn't know that it was Snowball. So Snowball was our cat who was white, like pure white. And he got so dirty that Mom thought it was just some like sooty gray cat, someone else's cat. She didn't know it was Snowball until she recognized it was Snowball.
Yeah. He's all like, "Clean me," and she's like, "What are you doing? Get away from me!"
She's like, "Ew." That darn cat.
Wow.
I took that leap.
He was a Siamese mix, long hair, Siamese Persian.
Yes.
Long hair and very vocal.
He was very beautiful. Like he had like the body of the Persian.
Blue eyes.
The face of a Siamese. So he was very beautiful, but he was an asshole. Like Ricky liked him. He
was my cat. That's why. He became my cat.
I just remember him jumping out and biting our toes underneath Mom's table skirt all the time. And then one time I went into my bedroom and he was sitting on my bed. And I was so scared, I went and slept in Ricky's room on his beanbag. I didn't trust this cat. Snowball, he was laying on my bed, and I was like, I don't trust this. Like I went and slept in Rick's room. I was like, this cat's gonna kill me.
He was a pretty good-sized cat too, actually.
He was a big cat.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was very beautiful, but he was a jerk. Krystal, you found a couple things, right?
Well, yeah, I just, one of the things, and this goes back to Arizona again. This one's pretty Arizona specific, but the Mogollon monster, which is a Bigfoot-esque type creature up at the Mogollon Rim, which is near the Grand Canyon. Yeah, I'm probably saying it wrong.
Sorry, it is the Mogollon Rim. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm like, I know I've never said it correct, and I apologize. I've never claimed to be a linguist. But it's like a Bigfoot-esque. And I just thought this one story that I found, it's from 1904, 1903.
We're really going to hold you to that.
No. But it's the first written documentation of the, say it, Ricky?
Mogollon Rim.
Thank you. And so this is how he was described in the Arizona Republican, which is a paper that's still around to this day. And it's long white hair and matted beard that reached to his knees. It wore no clothing, and upon his talon-like fingers were claws at least 2 inches long. He had a coat of gray hair nearly covering his body, with here and there a spot of dirty skin showing. This eyewitness also stated that he discovered the creature drinking the blood of 2 cougars, and then it threatened him with a club and screamed the wildest, most unearthly screech. So that's the first documented discussion of the monster, and a lot of them are very close and very similar. And it's just, I'm like, that description to me sounds like a man that got lost in the woods, honestly.
Like a prospector of some sort.
Yeah.
Prospector, it's like, yeah.
And he like went crazy. So I'm just like, well, I mean, you hear stories of the Mogollon monster. Oh, the screech. So, I don't know. That's my Mogollon rim monster account.
We have got to capture that as one of the clips for our video.
Right?
So if you hear that sound up near the Grand Canyon, run.
Evil liked it.
Dad used to do bobcat or wildcat or not cougar. Yeah. Cougar calls out while we were camping and stuff in different places.
He did a very good cougar job. Londa says, awesome job. Thank you. Evil says spaghetti with garlic bread, which I'm really jealous right now because that's
darn it. Yeah, no, we're gonna have to do that soon.
I know. I ate a ham sandwich. That was my dinner.
I still have this wrap I haven't touched.
But for Dad's cougar calls, I remember one time they're at church. Now, I didn't go to this. This is all secondhand info from my mom and dad. But apparently this was a women's retreat that they went on, and Dad was the cook. Okay, so he was like the only male who went. And at one point, all the women at the church, they were all together on the retreat, and they're all singing like church songs, with a guitar and everything. Jeanette, she was one of the girls. She had a guitar and she was playing. And Dad, being Dad, walked out into the woods and he let out his cougar call. And of course, the women kind of stop and they listen. And then they're like, and they go back to singing. And then he walks around the campsite a little bit and he lets out another cougar call a little closer. And so at that point, the women are starting to get a little nervous. And so then they kind of start to listen more, and just eventually he keeps coming closer and closer with the cougar call. At one point where Jeanette had she had her guitar and she gets all the women behind her and she holds the guitar up and she's like, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to go away to the cougar. And Dad just busts out laughing and he walks out. Yeah, she wasn't happy with him.
This is where we get it from, apparently.
Exactly. This is 50% of our humor here. Dad making super calls.
If it's a good imitation, yeah, that would be really scary.
No, he did. It was a very good imitation of it.
I mean, I thought the cougar call was, hey, I've got mojitos and
can you trim my yard? Thank you.
Yeah.
A borderline cougar for 7 years.
You want to come mow my lawn? Whoa!
Right.
There's a cat behind me. Hello.
Lana said she would try that. The cougar or the cougar? Wait, the cougar or the cougar call? Mike wants to know about the red ghost. It's supposed to be a cryptid in Arizona. Did you guys read anything on that?
Nope, but I'm looking it up now.
That is.
I was going to talk about the jackalope because that's my favorite, but
yeah, no, we're not making fun of you. Okay, if you're talking about cougar call, that's Dad. If you're talking about cougar, that was me for a while. So we're not making fun of you. We've all been there.
No, I have all respect for women cougars.
Yeah.
So definitely not throwing shade there.
No. More respect, actually, because anytime you can have a little cougar cub, and then you can have them mow your lawn or send them home with a juice box. It's good,
right?
Rick, did you find out about that red ghost right there?
I'm looking here. Let's see. In Arizona folklore, the red ghost is a figure alleged to have roamed the Arizona frontier in the late 19th century. I cannot talk. It was said to have been a large. It won't.
Large thing.
We're experiencing technical difficulties.
Literally the theme of my
I'm
show.
really surprised that I've never heard of this.
A large red camel with a bleached human skeleton upon its back. Oh wait, I have heard something like this in the past.
That's like the desert version of a Ghost Rider.
Legends of it were widespread across Arizona up until its supposed death before the dawn of the 20th century. In 1893, a farmer shot the camel and found that there was an actual human skeleton strapped to its back.
I feel bad for the camel because it's like I got put in this situation.
So it was a ranch house near Eagle Creek. Two men left the ranch to check on their cattle while they were out. One of the ranchers' wives heard their dogs loudly barking, followed by a loud scream. Krystal, if you would, please. And saw what was described as a huge reddish-colored beast ridden by a devilish-looking creature, and proceeded to lock her front door and wait for the men to come back. When they returned, they found the other wife had been trampled to death. Okay. The men followed the footprints left by the creature the next day and found her red hair in a bush. A few days later, a group of prospectors reported something tearing through their campground. Red hair was later found at the site, and the creature was again spotted a few days later, this time being described as a 30-foot tall and knocking over 2 wagons, with red hair again being found. So, commonality of red hair, apparently.
Huh.
It spread as various tales were being told. One describes the creature killing and eating a grizzly bear, while another said it disappeared into thin air when chased, but all the tales agreed that the skeleton of a man was on its back. A cowboy tried to lasso it and was knocked to the ground and nearly killed by it. Not before seeing the figure on the back was a skeleton. And a few months later, a group of 5 men shot at the beast, missing the camel, but shooting the head of the skeleton off, finding some hair and skin still attached to it.
Okay.
Yeah, it just goes on for a while.
Here's the first thing I think of with that, right? You got some cowboy who's just out there, and he sees a camel, and he's like, you know what that camel needs?
A skeleton head strapped to it.
Strapped to its back, and they're just like, well, F it.
The problem is, I would do that.
I
think we all would. That's sad.
I wouldn't leave it there forever.
No.
I would draw the line. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to play a joke on some people and put a skeleton on this camel and send it over into their camp. And then once I was done with my joke, I would remove the skeleton because the camel doesn't need a skeleton on its back forever.
Notwithstanding the fact that you have a camel in Arizona.
Oh yeah, well they imported camels to Arizona because of the fact that they can go a long time without water. The army did that, and then once they were done with the camels, they literally just let them loose, and they were wandering the desert.
Okay. Disney did a show called Halps that was about a military troop that was trying to get used to using camels instead of their Arabian horses that they were hoping for.
Yeah. Mike says maybe the skeleton was alive when he tied himself to the camel back out in the desert.
That's true too. Maybe it was a person that was like, well, that was really dehydrated, and they were like, I'm going to fall off this camel, so they tied themselves to it and then died, and the camel was fine, but they weren't.
Yeah, Londa, thank you. Twice now. I'm like,
it was your little Red Dead Redemption thing. It was some character walking
through a guy there, all sorts of stuff.
Okay, no. So I tried to find like a cowboy campfire ambiance, and it came up with Red Dead Redemption ambiance, and I'm like, perfect. And so I did that, but no, like every now and then people are talking. Krystal and I were, before we started the show, I was like, what is that? And it was someone talking. But like, here's the thing, it walked across my screen, but like the way it looked, I'm not just seeing it on my screen, it reflected on my whole Surface Pro. So I see a whole shadow go across. That's why twice I was like, what is this?
Yeah, because it's like the way that it did it, it's like if somebody walked right in front of the camera.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's nobody
and
here
they looked at the camera right now while they were walking past it. Yeah.
So Dad had.
Thanks, Londa. Thanks.
Yeah.
There's Dad.
Yeah. Well, the birds ate him, the skeleton. To continue with your description.
Yeah. Okay, but like, feel for that poor camel. That camel's like, oh God, my person's about to die. They're not built for the desert like I am. And then this person straps himself to you, and you are stuck with a human, basically just
rotting.
Yeah, on top of you, and people are shooting at you, thinking that you're some kind of creature. And the camel's like, I just want to live, man. I just want to live my life.
That poor camel. It's like, you guys put me through war and now this.
Landa, you know what? when a girl's got bills to pay, all right, we find ways.
Ain't that the truth?
Right. Rick Saw silence.
All right, so we've been on for a while, and Ricky has had a chance to talk about his jackalope. So I think we need to make sure we talk about the jackalope.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, jackalopes are actually my favorite. I didn't look into a whole lot about them, but I did look up some stuff real fast too. And I mean, the thing I knew about jackalopes is that they were actually started by people who would see rabbits with like this type of herpes virus that would cause these basically stuff to grow and fang type things, and so they thought, it's a jackalope, it's part jackrabbit, part antelope, and they had a really cute other name. It was the exact opposite of that. It was antelabbit. So jackalope or antelabbit.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're also used, they're considered the warrior rabbit, for fertility and prosperity and stuff like that as well, on a spiritual type thing. There's a lot of mythos that went in there. But do I have the page? There was a page that I found that showed, there we go. I did the picture. So in Arizona and such, you've got, or Southwest, you got like the jackalope, but you also have the warbletinger, and which I've seen in World of Warcraft. Super Dave Oswald. Oh, okay. And but I believe the warbletinger is actually like a European thing. Then there's the skvader. And the warbletinger and the skvader. The warbletinger, if you think of jackalope, like the horns and such, but also vampire-like teeth and wings. and apparently you can only see them when you're drunk. So
the wings or the jackalope?
The warbletinger. Yes. Okay. But then there's the spotter, which is like a jackrabbit with a mule's head and wings, and then you've got my eyes are a little blurry at the moment. Boybodrish chill, which looks like a huge rabbit with like antler on it, and then the Rasselbach. So all these are mammifers, which is this whole classification. I don't know.
Okay.
It probably doesn't. Yeah, you can't see.
So,
but I mean, they've got a whole thing on that, and I mean, the jackalope I knew, and we used to have the Foothills Mall that we had. We'll still have, but before I know, before it died and then came back.
It's completely demolished now. It's gone.
Yeah, it is. It's weird. But they had a section in there where they would show off all these mythological things and some bones and such, and you just kind of there was like a weird waterfall.
There was like a whole little museum in there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had dinosaur bones. They had like a mammoth rib cage that you could crawl through.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was a jackalope.
You know what? When I think of jackalope, the first thing I thought is not America's Funniest Home Video. It's the other one that the Cut It Out guy did from Joey Gladstone. He did it from what was it, like People's Funniest Videos or something? It was like a...
Yeah.
I don't remember him hosting one. I just remember Bob Saget hosting it.
Yeah, it was Bob Saget on America's Funniest Home Video. And then it was the guy, who played Joey.
Right.
On... Yeah. People's Funniest. Now I
don't remember that at all.
NIEST. Funniest Videos.
But he had some reference to the jackalope?
Yeah, no. So on America's Funniest People, that's what it was called.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So one of those, they always had the jackrabbit sightings. And it was always like the jackrabbit, and he was going around and he was like finding the good videos or something like that. It's really weird, but that's the weird random thing I remember as a kid.
It would be like hopping across the screen.
Kind of thing. Or he would be like
that was on America's Funniest Home Videos.
Was it funniest? Okay. And he was like, ha ha ha, this one's funny. Ha ha ha. You can't catch me.
Yeah. I think it was that one.
She goes, it was a John Mayer comedy hour. So Mike posted that he remembers seeing a jackalope skeletons at roadside places while driving through Arizona years back. Mike, I have questions.
No, I've seen them. They used to they'd have like little jackalope skeletons.
I know,
or like a jackalope head mounted on the wall.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a taxidermy thing that they would do. You know, like well, I forget what it's called now, but like the Moor or something like
taxidermy. That's what. Yeah, but
yeah.
Mike, I thought you were blind from birth, though, or was it not? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, I thought you were confused about the jackalope thing.
No, the jackalope, I got it. but that's where I'm confused. But I mean, maybe not. Maybe I just kind of assumed. So I'm sorry about that if I did. But I know a lot of people. Oh, Wanda. Okay, no, he wasn't. Okay, I'm sorry, Mike. I totally thought it was from birth right there. So that's why I was really confused on that comment. There was actually
his memories away.
What?
Said you're trying to take his memories away.
I'm not trying. I'm really confused. Generally, I thought that, and I don't know where I got that from. So if I assumed, I'm sorry about that. What was it? We have the jackrabbit. That's the thing. Right. Like the jackrabbit, and those things are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have the horns and the wings and stuff, but like that thing is still like those things will fight you.
Like mini kangaroos.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I'm like, yeah, she like a kangaroo, just like.
Okay. To clarify, okay, so I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to bring all this in until when you were 44. Okay, I'm sorry, Mike. I thought it was from birth, so I apologize for
trying
that.
to share all of Mike's medical history.
I didn't mean to. No, I was just really. I saw that and I was like, wait. Okay, Mike. You know us. You know we're blondes. Okay, like majority of it's real. Okay. So I'm very, very sorry. I just genuinely didn't. Oh my God, Linda.
Shame. Ring the bell. Shame. Shame. You go walk your shame. You're already naked anyway, so
you know what? I got it.
Sorry.
This has been you know what, Londa? Too late. No free access to my OnlyFans right there, Londa.
Copyright that.
Meanwhile, Evo's just like, this show is great. Basically, I'm just gonna have to write microcard now.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about jackalopes, and we talked about random cities, and we talked about, what was it, the red ghost or
red ghost?
Yeah, the red ghost,
the Mogollon monster.
Yes, yeah. So I think we had a pretty decent episode. We had some tangents, like normal. People expect that, but I think we had a pretty decent episode.
Krystal, is your reference to Skinwalkers?
Yes, I was. Skinwalkers were definitely something that I was going to talk about, but I think we pretty much ran out of time, and we could probably do an entire episode just on Skinwalkers, honestly.
Yeah.
But that is very much a Southwestern legend. Yeah, with the Navajos and other tribes as well. But
well, this could definitely be something that we could kind of carry on to a future episode. I know next week, or not next week, the next episode we're going to talk about Bigfoot, Yetis, and Sasquatch. Oh my, you know.
And the Mogollon. No.
Huh? Yeah, I'm like the Mogollon monster does kind of fit in with that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that'll be kind of fun. I like how none of us really converse ahead of our show, but yet somehow our little
I thought that too.
our little comment, our little headers always line up. It's like, no, are you trying? Like it's different.
I'm trying. This is easier.
Yeah, it's like, see, even when I do it multiple, I can't do it. It's
you are that.
Nope,
that way. You're that way.
It's backward from how we see it.
It is. It is. And even though my mind says that, even when I try it again, I can't.
Yeah, I have to point the way that you're not actually at so that it looks like I'm pointing at you.
Mike wants to know if we're technically supposed to talk about skinwalkers.
It's
I think
like
you're just supposed to interact.
Whatever. Too late.
All right. Well, on that note, let's all sign off and go watch scary movies.
Supernatural has. Oh no, they were shapeshifters. They weren't skinwalkers.
No, yeah, they had shapeshifters. I don't.
Yeah, they were a little bit different.
X-Files, I think it was a shapeshifter, not a skinwalker.
We're just going to have to do that as one of our episodes then.
We are. That'll be fun. So our next episode, obviously, you know, Bigfoot, Yetis, Sasquatch. Oh my, I keep mixing it up. I'll probably make a reference to Harry and the Hendersons because I love that movie. It's like a love-hate relationship with that movie.
He also has a scream.
You know what? We should get Uncle Gary on that episode if we can.
Oh,
he wrote a short story and all this stuff about Sasquatch and Bigfoot. So I think that'll be kind of fun. We can see if we get him on there. That may be fun. But yeah, we can definitely talk about skinwalkers and stuff like that coming up, which of course Londa's like, you're not supposed to say that word.
As we've said it like 10 times.
Exactly. You know what?
Like to live dangerously.
Candyman.
And this was the last time any of us were ever seen again. Yeah. So Uncle Gary, he wrote a short story on Sasquatch, and it was kind of based from like a cop, like a detective hunting it down, like not hunting, but just kind of investigating a case. So it was really interesting. Yeah, that is true. We should get Steven from Where Awakenings. That would actually be really cool. Yeah. We also have the special episode, or the special episode with the Jen for the Jerome ghost hunting. And if we can do any more extra stuff with that, I think that's going to be something fun and exciting. I haven't done it yet, so we'll see if I freak myself out or not. I'm trying to get a shirt that says Ghostbusters on it. Yes. That's my goal right now. I want to get that, and if I can't find that, I'm going to get a Ghostbusters shirt.
There you go.
I figured that's my contribution.
I think I'm probably going to
I
think I'm probably going to make an Only Cryptids shirt now. It's just
there you go. Londa says if you say Bigfoot 3 times, then Alan Lassiter and Steven show up. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight for our episode of Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales. Everyone, Rick and Krystal, thank you for joining in. We definitely appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I'm like, okay. Royal we over there.
I haven't eaten since 6 a.m., so I need to get some food. Besides my cheese I was eating right before the show started. Yeah. I'm so hungry. Okay, well, I love you guys.
Love you guys too.
Thanks for joining everybody.
Joining us. We're all going to deliriously go eat some dinner now. All right. Bye, guys. We'll see you in about 2 weeks. Bye.